Hello and welcome to our Bio 110 course, our Cell Biology Basics. This is an introduction video just to kind of welcome you to the class and to take a look around at our Canvas course. So I am going to spend some time here kind of going through the Canvas course, what to expect as far as the Canvas course is concerned, where to access things, and how to do things. So let's go ahead and get started. So when you open up our class, you should open up to this home page. So you can see that it's home here in the navigation. Here's our class, the Bio 110 S61. If it's not S61, that's okay. I have combined sections, so you don't have to be concerned with that as long as you're in the cell biology class. So Cell Biology Basics, here we are in 19 Fall. This is just my welcome message. My name is Mrs. Hubbard, and I'm going to be instructor for the next 12 weeks learning cell biology. Right here you can see it says course introduction video, so this likely is what you are watching now. So you probably saw this video here and clicked on it because I do ask that you do that so that you know the expectations for the semester, for the class, and how to do things. So here we go. So on the left-hand side, I have the next tab here is announcements. Also, you can see up at the top here, there are recent announcements. So this is always going to be the one most recent announcement. So if I make an announcement, it'll pop up there. If it's new, if you haven't read it, there will be a dark dot here, a blue dot, letting you know that that's new and you haven't read it yet. So you can either click up here for the latest announcement, or to read any of the past announcements, you can click over here. So I only have this one announcement. I can click on the announcement. It's just, again, kind of a placeholder here, just saying welcome to our Bio 110 course, and I look forward to a great class. And then the next tab over here is our discussion board tab. So I'm going to click on this, and we have various discussion boards that I've already set up for the course. So I have our pinned discussion board that's up here at the top, that'll always stay at the top. This one is our general questions discussion thread. So as we are working through the semester and as you are working on course information and watching lectures and completing assignments and things, if you do have a question related to the material, I ask that you post it here. So feel free to post any questions you may have. This would be kind of like if we were in the class, you would be raising your hand to ask a question in class. And so then I could answer it here, but then also I ask that all students answer questions for each other as well. So it would also be like if we were in the classroom, you would be asking the student next to you like, hey, I don't really understand this, or what did she mean by this, or that kind of thing. So that way we can get feedback from other students. You guys can share your information, and then also I can give feedback, particularly if other students haven't provided the correct feedback, but then also sometimes maybe it's just good to have feedback from different people. So we will go into some of the required notifications and subscriptions, but just right now I want to mention that right here you do have to be subscribed to this thread, which means that you will get notifications whenever there is a post here. So this is also important because if there is something wrong with a link or a due date or something like that, and somebody asks the question here, when I post a response, that could be applicable to everybody. So you'll get a notification of that so that you have that information as well. So I can navigate back to the other discussions either by clicking up here, this is our path here, or clicking over here again. Our other discussion boards that I have posted is a Facebook discussion board, our helpful resources, and the My Mistake. So the Facebook discussion board I have posted here. This is where I'm going to be posting the live videos or anything that I post on Facebook. So I do have, and I go over in the syllabus where you can add yourself to the Facebook group for our specific to our Bio 110 class. So it'll be just the students in this course. And what I have done this semester is I've created this group so that I can quickly go online, do a couple of live videos. You can see me, we can kind of interact a little bit more face to face. So I'm not just kind of this person with behind all of these words on this website. You can actually see me. I can then pass along important information. So when there's something that has been brought to my attention, I feel like it warrants a video, then I will go live on Facebook, and then I will later post that live video here so that if you choose not to be a part of the group on Facebook, or you don't have a Facebook, or you prefer not to use Facebook, then you'll also have that information here as well. It may not be an immediate post, it may be later. So Facebook, if you are going to be in the group, would be the first time that information is going to be dispersed. So you would get the most up-to-date information on Facebook. But I will post that here as well. So I do recommend, I don't require it, but I do recommend that you subscribe to this as well. That's another way to subscribe is right there so that you get notifications of that if you are not in the Facebook group. If you are in the Facebook group, then likely you'll get those notifications because I'll go live and that'll be in your feed. The next one is the helpful resources discussion thread. This one is where I ask any students to post anything that you find helpful for the course. So you don't need to subscribe to this one. You can if you want to. But this is just a space where if you find a really great website that helps describe something in the class or a great video, or if you come up with some sort of fun way to remember something, that if you can post it here, this is a fun way to share things with other people. And then just get more of that out there so everybody has more information. The last discussion thread here is called My Mistake. And My Mistake is for extra credit. This is the only extra credit that I offer in the class, and it's open all semester. The purpose of this is to report any errors that you find in the course material. So I do also recommend that you subscribe to this one, or require that you subscribe to this one, because if you do, then when somebody does post an error, so maybe, sometimes links get broken, they're no longer accessible. So if somebody posts that here, then you'll have that up-to-date information on that. So when you get to that part, if you haven't already, then you'll know how to work around it or that it is broken and what to do next. So as you are working through the materials, if you find something that seems to be an error, please post along here. Or post it here along with a screenshot, because the screenshot helps me to identify what it is exactly you're talking about and where I can find it. As soon as I'm able to, I'll look into it and then I'll make adjustments if needed. And then I'll also post those adjustments here for reference. So again, so that if there is an error, other students can come here, even if you're not the one that posted the error, and you can see what to do about that error, if anything. So I do recommend adding notifications for this. So if we go back to our discussions, that covers all the discussions. Note that there is not a discussion board that you are required to post on in this class. So you do not ever have to post discussions or responses to discussions. These are all voluntary, but also I feel like very important. So please use them if you feel the need to use any of these things, but there's nothing required for you to post in the discussions. So the next section that we are going to take a look at is the module section, and this is where we're going to spend the majority of our time in the class. So I have all of the modules set up here for the entire semester. You can see the majority of them are locked, and then these first ones are unlocked. So we are actually going to spend time now going through the general course information module. So I have a lot of information in here that you are required to go through. It's very important that you go through this so you know exactly how to submit things for the class and how to do it correctly so that you are able to get the full amount of points that you've earned on your assignment and not miss out on points due to not submitting it correctly. So first I have the first page here is watch this first. This is the same video that you're watching right now. If you clicked on it here or if you clicked on it on the home page, this is the same video. So it says here, if you didn't already watch the video, post it on the home page, please watch it now. So we can get back to the module we were in by going to modules here, of course, or if we click next, we can see right there, it shows us what the next one is, and we can click to the next one. So I'm going to click here, and you can see if I click next, it goes to the very next thing in that module, whether it's a quiz or a web page or an assignment. It doesn't matter what it is, it'll just go to the very next thing. So I'm going to click on this. Here it says, this is our course syllabus. Please take time to read through the entire syllabus. I absolutely need you to do that and watch this video where I go over the syllabus. If you have any questions after watching the video and reading through the syllabus, feel free to contact me. So you can post it on general questions discussion board we just saw, or you can contact me via text on the Remind app or via email in Canvas. So just like the other video, I have a placeholder here. There will be a syllabus video there that you can click on and watch, and it's going to go over the syllabus. Note that I have 2 postings here for the syllabus. That's because I attempt to post everything in a .doc format so that it can be editable on your computer or on your phone, depending on if you are able to edit those kinds of documents. But then I also have it posted as a PDF. And I have it posted as a PDF so that no matter what device you open it on, all of the things should be in the right places. So any images should be in the right places, any highlighting or bolding or indenting. Those things sometimes can get messed up if you open up a .doc or a .docx in a program or on a device that doesn't support that formatting. So then I created a PDF of all of the files so that that problem doesn't happen. So I recommend opening up the PDF when you are on certain devices, on your phone or something like that. It will work out better for you. But if you actually want to edit the document, I don't know why you'd edit the syllabus, but any future document, if you want to be able to use it to take notes or to edit in any way, then you have the .doc as well. So this time I'm going to click the next button over here and go to our required notifications and subscriptions. So here I have listed, these are required. You have to set up these notifications in Canvas. Okay, so, and then I walk through here how to do exactly that. So you must set up these notifications. They will alert you either via email or text, depending on how you set it up, to important information in the class. So you'll log on to Canvas, which we're already here. You'll verify your contact methods by going to Account. That's up here. You'll have a picture of yourself likely. Click on Account, and then once you click on Account, then you can click on Settings. It'll show up in here in Navigation. Then you'll look under Ways to Contact. So what you can do then is you can add your cell phone number, for example. You can add your personal email address if you'd like, and you need to make sure that you have your SC4 email address in there. Then what you can do is you can check mark the boxes associated with how you want to be notified. So you can add these things to your account, your ways to contact. Then you'll choose notifications. So again, it will be under Account. So click on Account and then click on Notifications. What you are required to set up notifications for are announcements, so that as we're moving through the class, if there needs to be an announcement, then I will make that as an announcement, and every single person in the class, every student should get a notification, whether or not you choose to be notified via text message to your phone or email or what you prefer. So you'll want to choose that preference by clicking the check mark to receive it under your contact choice. Then the next required is next to the submission comment. So submission comment is when I make notes on your assignments so you can see what's been graded. Now I mentioned this in the syllabus video as well, but when I am grading assignments, I will also mark on the assignment itself. So you can click on the assignment after it's been graded, after I put a score in, and you can see what I have written on the actual document that you submitted, but then also in submission comments, I will make a note sometimes on what is incorrect or what needed work or whatever the case is, my grading notes. So I don't always have grading notes in the submission comment box, but sometimes I do, and then you'll want to get those notifications. Then you may voluntarily elect to add any other notifications that you want. So you can decide, you can go through the list there and see if you want to be notified on any of those other things, but it's not required. Secondly, we have our required subscriptions in Canvas. And I already mentioned the subscriptions, but here it is written out to make sure that you subscribe to both the general questions and discussions thread and the helpful resources discussion thread. So you'll receive emails or text when one of your classmates posts something to these discussion boards, and then you can reply right through your email. So this is how to do that. You'll log into Canvas, choose discussions up here in our navigation, then you'll choose the discussion thread and you'll click on the subscribe button. And so you saw that previously it was gray and then with a check mark, and then when I clicked on it, it was green and it said that I was subscribed. You also can click on that just little banner in the corner or in the side. And then you want to repeat that for the helpful resources discussion thread. And again, you can then choose if you would like to subscribe to the My Mistakes discussion board and or the Facebook group discussion board so that you get those notifications as soon as possible as well. So our next item here after required notifications of subscriptions is accessing the optional text. So I have this in here. I go over this in the syllabus, but there absolutely is no text that you are required to have for this course. And I don't reference any textbook whatsoever. So this text here is just for those that feel like they need to have a textbook, feel like you want to have further reading on a topic. This is available to you here, and it's an OpenStax textbook, which means it's free to you as an ebook. Or you can purchase copies, actual print copies if you would like to. But again, I do not reference this text at all in any way throughout the semester. It's just for those of you that prefer to have a textbook. So the next piece that we have here is the Remind app instructions. You can see that here. Again, in the syllabus, I have posted that you need to download the Remind app. You can download it on your computer. You can download it on any other device, including tablets or smartphones. And you need to download this because this is one of the best ways to communicate with myself or with other students in the class. So what Remind is it allows you to text me and then I can text you back, but we don't share our personal information. So you don't have my phone number and I don't have your phone number. So you can download this app, and this is what the app looks like in the app store of your choice, depending on your phone or computer. So it looks like this. You want to download this app. As soon as it's done downloading, what you can do is go to your messages in your phone, and what you'll do is you'll send a text to this number here. So this would be like where you would put the telephone number in when you text somebody. So the telephone number would be 81010, and then the message where you would normally be writing whatever you want to say to the person, you would put at BIO 11019, and then click send. Once you send that, it will automatically enroll you in our Bio 110 course in Remind. So then if you open up the Remind app, you can see that you're now enrolled in that course, and you can click on me and send me a text. And you can also click on other students and send them texts. If you decide, for example, to work in study groups, you can communicate with each other and nobody shares their personal information. I will also use the Remind app and send out texts for important information. So this is really only if it's something that is very, very important and I want to get it to everybody immediately, then I send it here. That doesn't happen often. That's typically for an in-person class, like if there's a weather issue and I tell people not to come to class, for example. So next here, we have our Facebook group link. So here is you can join the Facebook group that I've created to get easy access to updates for the class. Again, I mentioned I'll have live videos that I'll post. You can also post questions on there if you choose to, although I prefer that you post questions here on the Canvas so that everybody can see. But here's a link to that Facebook group. You can click on that link and you can click join to the group, and then I will accept that. And then whenever I post videos, then it will let you know in your news feed. Again, you don't have to be in the Facebook group if you choose not to use Facebook or don't have one or don't want to. I will be posting these updates in the Canvas course as well. It just may not be as immediate. Here, submitting lecture notes on Canvas and some note-taking links as well. So this is extremely important. You will be submitting your lecture notes as you take them. So you'll be watching video lectures on Canvas here. And as you are watching the lectures, I recommend that you take notes as you go, or I often recommend that you watch the whole video first without taking notes, then you go back, watch the video again as you take notes. Either way, I recommend you take notes as you go, as you're listening. Your notes should include important terms and their definitions, so make sure you have that information in there. I do say make sure that you take meaningful quality notes. So I'm looking for quality over quantity. However, your notes need to be comprehensive, meaning they have to cover all of the material that's been covered. It's just that if you don't want to put every single last detail, that's okay if that's not how you learn. If you do learn that way, then please do put down all those details if that's helpful to you. But what I will be looking for is that you have at least addressed each of the pieces of the lecture materials. So in order to earn credit for your notes, however, you can do either of the following. One, you can either handwrite your notes like you would normally do, say in a lecture. You might have a notebook out and you might be taking notes if you were in class listening to a lecture. If you do handwrite your notes, then what you will need to do is you will need to take photos of your notes and then compile them into one single document. Now this one single document needs to be something that ends in .doc, .docx, or .pdf. So there are various files that students turn things in, and I am not able to open many of those files. So it needs to be .doc, .docx, or .pdf when it is submitted. And so I'll talk in just a moment about how you can do that very easily. And I put this in parentheses here, saying you can do this using the Genius Scan app. Scan is missing here, so the Genius Scan app, or a document program like Microsoft Word or Google Documents, you also have the ability to access Office 365 through SC4 for free, which is a Microsoft Word program. And then you will upload them to that Canvas assignment. Okay, so that's the first option. While you're watching your lectures, you take notes, handwritten notes. After you're done, you'll take photos of those notes and compile them into one document that then you will submit. You'll upload to Canvas. The second option is that you just type your notes. If you're a person that prefers to type notes, then you can certainly do that. So you'll type your notes and then you'll just upload that file directly to Canvas. So that's an easy one. I think that if you type your notes, obviously you save it as a file, and then when we get to the assignments, you'll see you just click a button, basically like attaching a file to an email, and then you'll upload it. Now, some notes for option 1. So if you handwrite your notes, there is the Genius Scan app, and I have a link for that, or I talk about it in the next section here as well. But the Genius Scan app is a free app that you can download on your phone. And I have a tutorial posted on how you can use this free app to take anything that you take a photo of and turn it into a PDF document. So this is what I use. I find it very, very simple. You download the app, open it up, you'll click batch, and then you can it'll access your camera. You let it access your camera. And then you can just simply, you take a picture of each page of your notes, one right after the other, and then you can send that to yourself as a PDF. So you can send it to yourself as an email or via email as a PDF. Or if you have Apple, for free, you can then just access your Canvas app if you have Canvas downloaded as an app on your phone. And then you can carry it over into the Canvas app and then click submit on the assignment. Either way, it's very, very simple. You will just click that you are going to attach it like you would attach a file, and then choose that document. Another option, if you do not choose to download the Genius Scan app, then what you could do, conversely, is just kind of old school. You can save all of these images on your computer. So you'll take photos, you can connect your phone to your computer, download each of these photos, and then you can insert those photos in a document. So you'll open up your Microsoft Word document, for example, you'll go up to insert, choose photo, and then you'll pick that photo. You do want to make sure that when you do this, that all of the pictures are in the correct orientation. So you want them to be upright, they need to be legible. So same thing if you're using the Genius Scan app. You have to watch the tutorial on that because you need to go in and you need to adjust your files to make sure that there isn't any glare on them, that it hasn't changed it to black and white. I need to be able to read those files. So you'll select those images. You want to make sure that you turn them so that they're upright, make sure they're legible, and then you can save that file as a Word document or a Google document. And then I recommend you save it as a PDF and then attach the PDF to the Canvas assignment so that the images don't get moved around in ways that you don't expect them to. So those are the two options for option number 1. So I do recommend the Genius Scan app. It's very easy. Most students find that it's a very simple way to do things. But if you prefer not to do that, then you can certainly just insert these images. Make sure that you make them very large. I recommend 1 image per page so that I can read them. Again, if I can't read them, if they're not legible, then I can't grade them and you won't get a score for them. So again, I want to note here when attaching files to any assignment, all pages must be combined into a single document. So it doesn't matter how many images you take, they all need to be compiled into a single document and then submitted. I am not able to grade, .pgns or .heics, JPEGs are difficult. So all of these things need to be combined into a single document and uploaded as one single document in order for you to earn the points that you deserve for the work that you've done. I also recommend that you double check your file prior to attachment, make sure it opens in the proper orientation, make sure everything's legible, and then also I recommend that once you have submitted an assignment, that you always back out of the website, close it down, then open it back up, sign back in, and make sure that you see that that is attached there. So make sure that you see it's attached. Sometimes people say that they'll submit some things and then perhaps something like their internet goes out, or they get out of the Wi-Fi area they were in or something, and then it does not end up sending it. So you want to make sure that you did send it, so I recommend to everybody that you always go back and double check that. One last note here, Canvas will not allow you to submit a document while at the same time submitting notes on that document, meaning in the text box below the submission. So you have to do that in 2 steps if you choose to do that. I don't recommend that you type anything in the text box. There's no need to type anything in the text box unless for some reason you feel like there's something you absolutely have to mention with turning this in. I do request that you don't treat it like an email and say something like, please see attached, or attached are my, chemistry notes, or anything like that, because I get those as an email. And what happens is I have, nearly 100 students, and if 100 students are doing that for each of the assignments, each of the weeks, that ends up being something like 400 emails I'm getting, just from people saying, please see attached. So please don't do that. But if you feel the need to submit some words with your assignment, then you can do that. Down here, I have some tips for note-taking. If you feel like you need to kind of adjust your note-taking skills, or if you want some tips, maybe some good information if it's been a while, those are available there. So back to our modules here. Almost done with our module. We are here, the Genius Scan app for uploading lecture notes and assignments video tutorial. So here's that tutorial that I mentioned. I go through and I walk you through step by step using this app, how to submit it in Canvas, and all of these things. So if you are going to use this app, please watch this tutorial. It'll make your life so much easier, and you'll get it right the first time, and then you can move on, and it won't be a big deal submitting any assignment moving forward. All right, so that is the end of our general course information section here, our module. So we've gone through each of these. Make sure that you do this on your own, and make sure that you do all of the things that are requested in there. So the submissions, or the subscriptions, the notifications, and all of those things. I'm going to spend the next couple of minutes kind of talking about the way that our course is set up here. So you can see that we have different modules here. The first one that we are going to work on is our basic chemistry unit. And you can see here that I can click on this to do the drop down, and we can see each of the parts of our chemistry lecture, or our chemistry unit. Up at the top here, our header for the basic chemistry lectures. Right here is our page, so you'll be clicking on this to watch the lectures for this. So these are our chemistry lectures for all parts 1 through 4. So here's the part 1 lecture. You can either click on the link here and it'll open it up in a new page, or you can click on this here and it'll open up here as a little tiny YouTube video. So you'll watch this, you'll take notes on this, and then you'll submit it as your part 1 lecture notes. And I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. Then we have our part 2, part 3, and part 4. So these are your different lectures that you need to watch for this unit. And each unit is set up the exact same way. So I have the lectures up at the top, here's the page for the lectures, and then below this header, our chemistry assignments, are all of the assignments in the order that you need to do them and submit them. So you can see here the very first thing that you should do is watch the lectures for parts 1 and 2, and then you will submit both parts 1 and 2 here. So it's important that when you are taking your lecture notes that you put all of the headers on them. So make sure that you put basic chemistry lectures on the top, and then say part 1. And then take notes on part 1. Then you need to have a header saying part 2, and then take notes on part 2. So it's important that you have these headers so I can see that you've addressed and watched each of these lectures. So your assignment will be submitted here. You can see it shows you the due date for that, the number of points associated with it, and then it needs to be submitted in order to move on to the next section, which we'll talk about in just a moment. Then you can see that what is also due on September 22nd is your first part 1 quiz. You also have part 2 quiz due. And these are the 3 things that absolutely are required to be done and turned in by the due date of September 22nd, which is Sunday, as all of our assignments are due, with the exception of the last ones, on a Sunday by 11:59 p.m. So when we click on this assignment, when we open it up, you can see again here, it says Basic Chemistry Lecture Notes, Part 1 and Part 2. You can see the due date by 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, points, and what you need to submit. So you need to submit a file. And here's your reminder, submit one single file that contains all of your images and handwritten lecture notes. I remind you that you can go to the General Course Information module, watch a YouTube video on the Genius Scan app, or remind yourself about how to do this. Once you have watched the lectures and taken notes on Parts 1 and Parts 2, then you can click on this Submit Assignment button. It opens up something, like I mentioned, similar to an email. So all you'll have to do is choose the file here. It'll open it up, it'll open it up to your computer or your files if you're on your phone or your tablet, and then you can pick the file, and then once you click it, it'll just be like an attachment. You'll open it, and then you can click Submit Assignment here. So then that assignment is submitted. So again, I remind you that after you click Submit Assignment, I recommend that you get out of the internet, off of the website, log out of Canvas, and then go back in onto the internet, onto the Canvas website, sign in, and then check that your assignment has actually been attached and submitted. Okay. So then once you click Submit Assignment, it'll show that it's been submitted. So I'm going to go back to our module here. We're not going to save that. It's just letting me know that I didn't attach anything. So then our second assignment that is due by Sunday is our Part 1 quiz. So here, due September 22nd by 11:59 p.m., the number of points, how many questions are in this quiz. There are 5 questions, when it's available until, and then the allowed attempts are unlimited. And I go over this in the syllabus video, but there's no time limit on quizzes, and you can take them as many times as you want. And I recommend that you take them many times so that you can prepare for the exams. The only grade that will be submitted, your grade that you will earn for this assignment, is your highest score. So even if you get your highest score, if you want to take it over and over again and you get less scores, then it will keep your highest score as your score for the assignment. So you'll click on Take the Quiz. You can see here, these are the questions. And then as we're scrolling through, you can answer the questions. They're all available to you all at one time. So you can spend time going through, answering the questions. You can go back up and change your answers, then go back down if you want to. And then you can click Submit Quiz. Once you do that, you'll see that the quiz has been submitted. But then again, you can always go back in and take the quiz over and over again. And I recommend that. So I have said, so this is how each of these units are set up. Okay, so we have our lecture notes you have to submit, and then we have quizzes. We have lecture notes to submit, and then we have quizzes. Now, in each unit, we also have homework assignments. I have the homework assignment posted here toward the end of this module because it's not due until the entire module is due. However, I highly, highly recommend that you start the homework assignment at the beginning of your time frame here. So don't wait until this week, the week of September 29th. Start up here, our first week of classes, the September 22nd week. You can start working on this assignment now. Start working on it now and work on it throughout the next 2 weeks, and then make sure that it's submitted by the 29th. If you don't do that, then it will seem like you have a whole lot of work due every other week because you'll have the notes, the quizzes, and then a homework assignment that's covering the entire unit due that week. And our next one, the study skills assignment, is also due that second week. But just like the homework assignment, the study skills assignment, I recommend, and this one you absolutely need to start it the very first week of classes because it takes an entire week of noting things every day in order to complete. So start this now. But I recommend in every single unit that you start the homework assignment and the study skills assignment as soon as you have access to that unit. So don't wait until the second week and then you have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 assignments you all have to complete by that week. Open it up at the beginning and work on it very slowly throughout the next 2 weeks, and then it's not going to be overwhelming. So then if we take a look at this, again, this is just submitting notes, taking quizzes, submitting notes, taking quizzes. The homework assignment You can click on this and you can see when it's due by, the number of points, and then in this case that it is a file that needs to be uploaded. So you can click on the chemistry homework assignment, you can open it up, and then you can work on the chemistry homework assignment, and then you can click submit assignment and submit that. Next, we have our study skills assignment. So if we take a look at our study skills assignment, you will complete the following assignment and submit it prior to the due date. Again, this is submitting an assignment. And actually, I'm going to make a note right here. Let me go back. This is not the correct homework assignment. Your homework assignments, I'm switching them to be homework assignments that you actually work on the website. So I'm going to have to go in and I'm going to fix this one. So this homework assignment should actually be similar to a quiz, but it's not something you do unlimited times. It's something you do one at a time. So you can open it up, you'll have access to a question, you'll answer that question, and then you'll submit it. You can leave at any time and come back to the assignment. So again, I recommend that you come back, you work on the assignment, and then you can leave the assignment and come back and work on it throughout the 2 weeks. So this should look different by the time that you have access to the course here. If you have any questions about that, go ahead and put it on the general discussion board so that I can answer that question for everybody. So let me go back to the modules. The study skills is correct though. So here our study skills 1 assignment. You will download this document here and then use it to work on it for the next week and a half or so. So I recommend you access this immediately. The first time you access Canvas, get it printed out, get working on it right away. It takes an entire week of recording things. Then by September 29th at 11:59 p.m., you'll submit that assignment, similar to the way that you would be submitting your lecture notes. So each unit has lecture notes, quizzes, a homework assignment, and a study skills assignment. Now, here you can see it says complete all items. What that means is every item that has one of these circles next to it, it says that you must submit this item. And you have to submit this in order for the next module to open for you. So it's important that you make sure that each of these has a check mark in them and they turn green. And once they do, then that means that this one will now be unlocked. Right now it's locked because I haven't submitted these assignments. So you can see here that the only way that you will have access to the study guide for the unit is once you have completed all of these assignments. Once you've completed these assignments, then you'll have access to the study guide. If you end up not turning in an assignment, on one hand, I would say just go in, if it's a quiz, for example, just go in and click some answers really quick before 11:59 p.m. so you get maybe some points for it. If it is a homework assignment or if it's a study skills assignment, for example, that you just weren't able to do, you can submit a blank document here so that you can have access to the study guide. So that will unlock for you. Now keep in mind that you have to, you wouldn't get points for that. It would be a 0 for the assignment. If you just didn't have time, you would still get a 0. That said, when I go over the syllabus in that video, when you watch that, you'll see that you have a couple free passes. But anyway, if you submit a blank document to unlock the next unit, that will be blank and that's what you'll get points for. So then once you have access to the study guide here, also notice that in order for the exam to open for this unit, then all of these items must be check marked. So this is also important because if you will notice that the exam is due the same day as all of these assignments in the second week. Again, this is why you'll have access to all of this stuff the first week, and I highly, highly recommend that you work through it ahead of time. Don't wait until September 29th to complete all of these assignments and the exam. That is not wise. So you have access to all of this. I recommend that you work on it piecemeal throughout the 2 weeks. Get everything up here submitted by the 22nd, and then you'll submit all of these things prior to the 29th. So once you have submitted all of these assignments, they will be check marks and they will be green, and then that will unlock this module. This module, once it's unlocked, you'll have access to the chemistry exam. And I have a note here, also due by the 29th at 11:59 p.m. So make sure that you have this completed as well. Okay. So when you are taking an exam, it will look similar to a quiz, just in this regard here. It'll look like this, except it'll say, for example, basic chemistry exam. You'll have all this information up at the top for the exam. The main difference here, of course, is that when you click on starting the exam, you have one attempt. It's not unlimited here. You have one attempt to complete the exam. Another big difference is that there's a time limit. So make sure that you use your time wisely. You have a time limit, and it is one-time submission. So if you are working on the exam, I recommend that you go through and answer all the questions that you know quickly first, then go back and answer the ones you're not as sure of. That way, if you run out of time and your quiz or your exam is automatically submitted for you, which will happen if you run out of time, then at least you get points for the ones that you knew. And you'll only miss out perhaps on those that you were unsure of. So if you run out of time, it'll automatically submit it for you. If you're still okay on time, at the end you'll click submit. You will immediately see your answers to those that have answers. If it's an essay question, you won't see an answer for that because I'll have to grade it. But you'll see the majority of your points, so you'll know exactly how you did on the exam. Notes about the exam, I go over this in the syllabus video as well, but it's so important that I'm going to go over it here as well. So while you are taking the exam, you are only to use your brain. So no notes, no websites, no textbooks, no other people, just your own brain and your own understanding. Now, when you are taking the exam, I can look in after each person, and I will, after each exam is submitted, I will go in and I will see, and I can see how long you spent on each question, when you answered the questions, what your time frame was. I can, also see if you have accessed other tabs. I can see if you have left the screen. So when you are taking an exam, the only tab that you should have open, the only thing open on your device is the exam. If I am looking at the log of your exam and I see that you have spent a long time on one question, if I see that you have left the web page for the exam, that will be considered cheating. It will be plagiarism, and I will decrease your score accordingly. So if there are a lot of incidences where you have left the page, or where I see that it looks like something is unique there regarding the time frame on the quizzes, or on the questions rather, then you will be docked points. If there's a lot of them, you may end up getting a 0 on the exam. So very important, make sure everything is turned off. You're not getting any, text messages or notifications. Make sure it's the only thing open, the only tab open, and I will be checking the exams afterward and be adjusting the score from whatever you've earned depending on what I see in the log. So please keep that in mind. Make sure you study for exams like you would a normal in-person class. Make sure you take an exam like you would a normal in-person class. So no books, notes, other people, etc. So again, back to our Canvas course here. So you'll open up this unit. This is our first unit. You'll submit each of these assignments by the due date. So by September 22nd for these, by September 29th for the rest. That'll unlock the study guide. It will also unlock your chemistry exam, basic chemistry exam. Take the exam, and then once you take the exam, you can see here, once you take this exam, then the organic chemistry unit will be unlocked for you. So this is also a way that you can really work at your own pace. So if you know that you have a week where you're going to be really busy and won't be able to get to the assignments, make sure that you work ahead. You can work ahead, you can go as fast as you want, but all of these things have to be in prior to their specific due dates. So you can't go as slow as you want. They have to be done by the due dates, but you can go as fast as you want through the entire semester. So as soon as the exam is taken and submitted, then you'll have access to the organic chemistry unit. And you can see here, even though it's locked at the moment, here are the lectures, just like in the previous unit. You'll submit lecture notes for part 1, take a quiz for part 1, you'll submit lecture notes for part 2, take the quiz for part 2, lecture notes for part 3, quiz for part 3. Here's the homework assignment for parts 1 through 3. Again, you can start this all the way up at the beginning. And here's the study skills 2 assignment, which again, you can start all the way back up here during this week. So don't wait until the end, because then of course you also have your exam that's due that day. So again, once you've submitted all these assignments, these will unlock. You'll have access to the exam. You can take the exam. Once that's taken, you have the next unit. Okay? So again, each of these are due on Sundays. Make sure that you note the due dates on them. Sunday at 11:59 p.m. with the exception of our body systems partial unit, which is due on a Friday, and the final exam, which is due on Friday. And that's because the semester actually technically ends on the Friday, not that Sunday. So I will put out messages to remind you of this when the time comes, but you absolutely want to make sure that you keep in mind that this is due on a Friday. Adjust your work if you needed, or adjust your mindset around your work or family life or whatever it is to make sure that you submit this by Friday. Okay? So Friday by 11:59 p.m. And again, these will unlock when you finish the previous exam. Okay? So that is our overview of the module section, which is where you'll have access to all of the information for the course as far as what you need to be studying and submitting. Now, if we go back over here really quickly, the last couple tabs here, you can click on grades. As I am grading assignments throughout the semester, you'll see when things are due. You'll see what score you earned and what the total points you could have earned for that are. You can also scroll down here, and then you'll be able to see where you're at with points and what your actual score is at the time and your letter grade at the time. You can arrange it differently depending on what's easiest for you. Apply that. You can print them out. And then show all details. You can click and you can see different views. You can also do what-if scores. So if we get toward the end here and you want to see, like, what do I have to earn on the final exam in order to get the grade you want to get, you can put in these scores. And then you can test it out to see what you need to get so that you can determine how you'd like to approach that. The People tab, this is where you can actually email your fellow students. You can get access to their information there. I'm not going to click on it, so it's not available on the web here. But if you do click on it, you can see other students in the class, and you can contact other students to maybe get together and do study groups or ask questions and things like that. This last tab is the Office 365. For Office 365, this is where you can log in and have access to any files that you save on your drive, your OneDrive. Every student at SC4 and every faculty get a OneDrive, which is where you can save files. You also have access to Microsoft Office materials and programs. So this is how you can log in and access those files. So then what you can do is you can download these. So say you complete the file on a tablet or a phone, you can save it to your OneDrive, which is also an app, and then you can come here and you can access that, download it to the computer if you need to submit it if you'd like. So that is just optional. That's not something you have to do. It's just available to you if that makes life easier for you. If it's complex and it doesn't, then just ignore it. So the last thing that I do want to mention here, we've gone through all the navigation in our class, is over here is your inbox. I mentioned in the syllabus video that in order to contact me, I prefer that you do it through Canvas. If you're going to email me, you can always text me, but if you choose email, to email me here. So you'll click on inbox here, and it's just like a regular email program. Up at the top, you'll click on compose, and then it actually gives you drop-down options. So you don't have to know my email address or a student's email address, for example. You'll click on the class, then you click on faculty, and then it'll give you my email. You'll click that in there, and then you'll type in just like you would a typical email. I ask that you do this in Canvas rather than just through your general SC4 email because Canvas kind of compiles everything per student, and we can go back very easily and see our communication if necessary. Versus having to search through our emails and figure out which email came first and things like that. So that is how you access your Canvas inbox here. All right, so we have covered the entire course here on Canvas. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. Again, you can go to the discussions board here. You can click on General Questions Discussion Thread and ask the question there. Make sure that you're subscribed here so that you get that information via text or email, whatever you chose. Or you can text me your questions or email me your questions. You can email through here or text me through the Remind app, and I can answer those for you. So I look forward to the semester. Please let me know if you have any questions as we move through the semester. Again, I'll be posting some videos on Facebook so that you can kind of see me, that I'm a real person over here. And I hope we have a great semester, and I hope you enjoy the class because I know that I do. All right, thank you so much.